people high blood pressure. They are restless, granting all sorts of media interviews. Why are they doing this? It is because the people that matter, the people that have what they have claimed they have, integrity, are with us, and that's the truth. So if we have one person who has integrity and character, is it not better than having 1,000 person with questionable character, he asks. So we are happy to identify with him. End of quote. The governor restated his promise of making sure that everything that is needed to make the health center function maximally would be supplied to further support the people of the community. A component of Nigeria's military special task force Operation Delta State has bombarded several illegal oil refinery sites and other basics of economic saboteurs in Rivers State. Director of Public Relations and Information at the Nigerian Air Force AVM, Edward Gabquet, who disclosed this in Abuja, said the airstrikes diminished the capabilities of oil thieves significantly and assured that the strikes will stop economic saboteurs to stop bursting pipelines to steal crude oil. Gabquet also said an illegal refining site was destroyed at the Dama community, and 4 boats which was found loaded with illegally refined products were equally destroyed. According to him, missions were conducted over Ogbomkiri community, where an actively illegal refining site was identified and destroyed, while at Arugbana community, the oil thieves were found trying to set up an illegal refining site, and on sighting the approaching aircraft, they scampered to safety. There's more news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on ATN socials. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Analysts have stressed the need for both the federal and state government to collaborate in conserving the nation's physical environment and its resources against degradation and pollution. Speaking on Atlantic ATN Sunday, a public affairs analyst, Damar George, said the federal government has a very significant role to play in protecting the nation's natural environmental through sustainable measures.
In the environment is protecting our economy, is also protecting the livelihood of millions of Nigerians, and illegal exploitation of our resources, especially our have a very significant and critical role to play in protecting these natural resources that God has given.
Also speaking, Henry Akine urged government at all levels to prioritize environmental protection and sustainability in the country.
Whether it's the federal government, the state government, or any level of government,
yes,
in that regard, a lot to be done, whether institutional, legal, or diplomatic relations,
yes,
as my colleague has mentioned. But there's something very fundamental that I have to state before even responding directly to that. Environmental protection and sustainability, it should be a serious concern to developing countries, more than even the advanced countries. We have the federal institutional, really. We have the Federal Ministry of Environment. We have that ministry at state levels. So it's the primary responsibility of those institutions of government, those ministries, to have direct, if you like, supervisory, or if you like, some sort of oversight with respect to the activities of humans as would affect.
This is coming after a conservationist in Cross River State appealed to the federal and state governments to urgently intervene in the daily plundering of the state's forest following the increasing number of undocumented Chinese businessmen involved in illegal wood logging. Officials of the Edo State Network and members of the Public Works volunteers on Sunday pulled down the security post in front of the residence of the former Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu in the government reservation area, Benin. The security post was reported to have shared same fence with the golf course. Shaibu was impeached by the Edo State House of Assembly last Monday over the allegation of leaking official secrets and perjury. This followed the consideration of the report of a 7-man panel set up by the Chief Judge of the State, Justice Daniel Okungboa. The Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki had also replaced the impeached Deputy Governor with Marvelous Omobayo. Shaibu had since condemned his impeachment and had approached the court to quash the action, stating that he was only being persecuted for exercising his fundamental human rights by wanting to succeed his boss. The post served as a temporary shelter or first port of call for Shaibu's security details before and after the close of work. Reacting to the demolition, a senior member of one of the agencies which carried out the exercise said the security post was removed since the former deputy governor is now a private citizen and had lost such privilege. The State Commissioner for Roads and Bridges, Eta Uzamere, whose ministry was fingered for the demolition, said the exercise had nothing to do with the ministry. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja has ordered a probe in the death of a hotel manager in Abia State, Achimungo James Etubi. This is coming after some personnel of the Nigerian Army allegedly tortured Etubi, which resulted in his death, while a Nigerian Air Force cadet, Emmanuel Onyemerechiri, reportedly drowned in the hotel swimming pool. The Army, in a statement by Director Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Wanchuku, said the service was concerned about the allegations reported in the news against its men, and the Chief of Army Staff had directed an investigation into the incident to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of Etubi. The statement also said the Nigerian Army is deeply concerned by the alleged unprofessional conduct of some of its personnel in the tragic death of a hotel manager in the state. And in response to the unfortunate incident, the Chief of Army Staff has promptly ordered a comprehensive investigation to ascertain the facts and bring to book anyone found culpable. The Enugu State Police Command has arrested one chance robbers within Enugu Metropolis and rescued a female victim. The command's public relations officer, Daniel Undukwe, in a statement on Sunday said that the feat was achieved by police operatives serving at the Central Police Station, Enugu, on April 9 at about 7:30 p.m. According to him, the police operatives rescued a female abducted victim and arrested her alleged abductors, Ejike Okorie, 26, and Christopher Kindness, 25, both of Ameke Ungwa, Enugu North local government area. I open quote, an angry mob had earlier intercepted the suspects before the optional minibus in the PNT bus stop, Okpara Avenue, after an alarm was raised over the victim's abduction. A preliminary investigation has shown that the suspects confessed to the crime. They stated how they and others at large have been perpetrating the criminal acts of what they say one-chance robbery, abduction, and fraudulently obtaining money and other belongings from unsuspecting victims with Enugu Metropolis, he added. Undukwe said that the suspects would be arraigned in court and prosecuted once investigations are concluded. He said that the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kanayo Ozuegbu, had commended the police operatives for their quick intervention, thereby preventing the angry mob from murdering the suspects in the name of jungle justice. Undukwe said that the Commissioner urged residents to always adhere to the laws by arresting and handing criminal suspects over to the police for necessary investigation and prosecution. Moving on now, 23 inmates of the Enugu Custodial Center bagged master's first degree and postgraduate diploma of the National Open University of Nigeria. While 5 of them bagged master's degrees, 17 bagged their first degrees, and 1 got a postgraduate diploma. State's Coordinator of NOUN, Nigerian Correctional Service, Mrs. Jennifer Wonyi, who presented the degrees and diploma to the graduates at a virtual convocation held at the Enugu Custodial Center, said the graduates had defied all odds to attain the great heights. Speaking at the ceremony, Mr. Sunday Oyahire, Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of Enugu Maximum Custodial Center, thanked NOUN for organizing the courses and for providing facilitators. In his remarks, Mr. Arinze Chukwu Onovo, the Correctional Center's desk officer for NOUN programs, encouraged the graduates to continue to search for knowledge, saying, I quote, "It is the key to unlock many potentials." End of quote. The Zone 13 of the Nigeria Police Force comprising Anambra and Enugu states has announced the venue and time for both general duty and specialist constable recruitment medical screening in those two states. This is contained in a statement issued on Sunday by the Zonal Police Public Relations Officer Josephine Inhunwa on Sunday in Enugu. Inhunwa said that prospective candidates from Zone 13 should note that the exercise would take place at Police Hospital, Oka. She said that the medical screening would commence simultaneously nationwide on Tuesday, April the 16th and end on April 30, 2024. I quote now, candidates are advised to visit the recruitment portal apply.policerecruitment.gov.ng to know their status, specific time, date, and other mandatory requirements. She continues, so also qualified applicants are to appear in clean white t-shirt and shorts with the following requirements: national identity card slip, printout of medical examination slip, and all necessary documents. The Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 13 Command, AIG Godwin Aghaula, wishes all prospective candidates success as they embark on this exercise, he said. Moving on, analyst has criticized PDP and APC chieftains in Ebonyi State for focusing more on politics at the risk of creating sustainable job employment as dividends of democracy for the people, thereby taking advantage of the people's right for social provision. Speaking on Atlantic Television Saturday, a social political analyst G.U. Wahale expressed disappointment at the response from the political gladiators who said that unemployment in Ebonyi State has been put under sustainable control and lasting measures.
They are not. The PDP is actually not talking with the intent that he has the love for the people, or he is feeling the pain of the people. He is not talking with that intent. The APC is also not talking with the intent. Even his inner mind bears in witness that he is not saying the truth. You know, in this part of the world, they see the people to be docile and taking advantage of the docility of the people.
G.U. Wahale also said most political gladiators across the country do not consider the interest of the masses who voted them to power.
There is now a swap, and the PDP chieftain is now in APC, and the APC person is now in PDP. You now see that the PDP chieftain will start talking like this APC, why this APC will start talking like that of the PDP. So everything gears towards their political ambition. They are trying to impress the people, not that they have the people in the, at the back.
This is coming after the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the March 18, 2023 elections in Ebonyi State, Dr. Ifeanyi Odili, recently decried the increasing rate of poverty, hunger, and unemployment in the state and urged party faithful to work together for the development of the state. Moving on now, the Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of a 1-year-old baby during an attack at Egon Oriomi in the Oto Awori local Council Development area of Ojo, Lagos State. It was learned that some hoodlums invaded the community on Friday night, shooting profusely and without care. The State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyin told correspondents on Sunday that some residents of the community who got caught up in the attack also sustained varying degrees of injuries. The reports say houses were burnt alongside with a baby now dead found inside. The police on arrival saw the scene, which also included looted shops. Meanwhile, some members of the community sustained gunshot wounds too. A police source also was privy to the development but preferred anonymity as he was not authorized to speak on the matter, and told a correspondent that the sound of gunshots made residents scamper for safety. Hundeyin, who spoke further on the matter, confirmed that there had been a crisis bordering on a leadership tussle in the community. He said, and I quote, "There has been a leadership tussle in the community before the incident, and we treat it as a civil matter. Our own is to maintain peace and order, and we have been doing our best to do that before this particular midnight attack. We are not linking the leadership crisis to what happened. An investigation is ongoing to determine the cause," end of quote. When contacted, the executive chairman of Otuawari LCDA, Prince Musibao Asafa, said he was in a church service. Repeated calls made to his phone were not responded to. A text message sent to him had yet to be replied to as of the time this report was filed. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has called on Nigerians to refrain from speaking ill comments against the country. Sanwo-Olu gave the advice at a program to mark the 2024 Eid al-Fitr celebration at the Lagos House, Ikeja. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, urged Nigerians to change their thoughts and speak positively about the country, adding that God would not change anything for any society until the people decide to change their minds for good. He also said the citizens should stop cursing the country so that God would change it for the better, and urged Nigerians to believe in their current leaders and pray for them and the country. Sanwo-Olu harped on children being respectful while reiterating that it was the responsibility of parents to raise their children in the way of God. President of the 9th Senate, Senator Ahmad Lawan, has called on military authorities to immediately investigate the killing of 3 innocent civilians by soldiers in Gashua, the headquarters of Bade local government area of Yobe State. The former Senate president made the call in a statement he personally signed on Sunday while reacting to the tragic incident. Lawan, who currently chairs the Senate Committee on Defense, said that the efforts must be made by the Nigerian army to ensure that the perpetrators behind the acts of violence were held accountable and responsible for their actions. Open quote, Gashua community has always been a peaceful place with calm people who also give support and cooperate with military, paramilitary, and indeed all government agents operating in the town, he said. He further appealed to residents for calm while assuring that he has already spoken with military authorities to ensure that those responsible were apprehended and dealt with according to the law. He emphasized that justice would be served, and the lawmaker condoled with the families that lost their loved ones during the tragic incident. The Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni was called for a more harmonious military-civil relationship in Gashua. Buni made a call while reacting to a clash between soldiers and Keke Napep riders on Sunday in Gashua town, which led to the death of 3 persons with many injured. It described as unfortunate that such an incident is happening at a time when the state is enjoying relative peace across the state. Open quote, "It is sad and regrettable that lives are lost in unavoidable circumstance," he lamented. Governor Buni observed with dismay the recurring incidents in Gashua, saying the state government would meet with the military authorities to bring a permanent solution to such threats to the relationship. Open quote, "We should always be united to fight our common enemy and not be the adversaries against ourselves," the governor cautioned. Buni noted that the military and the residents have responsibilities to one another to achieve collective success. The governor prayed for the repose of the souls of the deceased persons and condoled with their families. He directed free treatment to those who sustained injuries in the accident and were admitted in the specialist hospital, Gashua. Correspondent had reported that 3 persons were killed while many others sustained injuries in a clash between soldiers and the NAPEP riders in Gashua. Moving on now, Zazzau Emirates in Kaduna State has lost a prince and district head of Ikara local government area, engineer Aminu Umar. Confirming his death in a statement, Abdullahi Aliyu Kwabai, head media and publicity Zazzau Emirates, said the deceased had participated in the Hawan Daushe Saladara in Zaria on Friday and was one of the district heads that paid the emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, a salah homage. According to the statement, and I quote, he died after participating in all the Salah Dobar and other Eid Fitri activities. Late Umar, who is a descendant of late Emir Dalat, State Water Board. The state head had since been buried according to Islamic rites at Amaru in Zaria City. You're watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. The Nigerian Army has confirmed the murder of a woman by a soldier in its barracks in Enugu State, southeast Nigeria. Last week, there was a report that Muhammadu Adamu, said to be a repentant Boko Haram member, enlisted in the army through the Civilian Joint Task Force, CJTF, allegedly murdered a woman at the Nigerian Arms 82 Division barracks in the state. The woman, Hawakulu Tabra, was said to be Mr. Adamu's girlfriend. She was said to be pregnant with another man, which angered the soldier. Reacting to the incident in a statement on Sunday, the Army spokesperson Onyema Wanchukwu confirmed the development, saying Mr. Adamu, a private in the Army, had been arrested over the alleged murder. Mr. Wanchukwu, a Major General, said Mr. Adamu allegedly murdered the victim on Thursday night and that her corpse was discovered within the barracks premises on Friday. And I quote, preliminary investigations revealed that the late Hawakulu Tabra was murdered by the said soldier, who is presently in detention for further investigation to unravel the motive behind his actions, he said. The Army spokesman, however, refuted claims that Mr. Adamu is a repentant Boko Haram member. I quote, the Nigerian Army has at no point in time, either in the past or present, enlisted repentant Boko Haram members to its strength. However, considerations were given to the Civilian Joint Task Force, who in the fight against terrorism and insurgency in the Northeast distinguished themselves morally and patriotically, he said. Such members of the CJTF must have also shown commitment, dedication and loyalty to the service and the nation. End of quote. Mr. Wanchukwu said the Army has extended its condolences to the family of the late Tabra, and the spokesperson also assured Nigerians that justice would be served, as the Army would not condone any, I quote, unprofessional conduct or indiscipline within its ranks. Federal government, in partnership with the International Criminal Police Organization, have commenced the extradition process of two Indians, Jitendra Mamtora and Satyen Mamtora, over an alleged fraudulent $25 million transformer deal. The move followed the failure of the father and son, who are the chairman and managing director of a company, Transformers and Rectifiers India Limited, to honor an invitation by the Nigeria Police Force over an indicting petition written against them, while details of the extradition request were contained in a document written by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to Interpol through the Inspector General of Police. In the petition signed by Abubakar Ndwakene, the law firm called for the investigation of the chairman of Transformers and Rectifiers India Limited, Jitendra Mamtora, and the managing director to answer allegations against them and their company. Meanwhile, Interpol, following the receipt of the petition and conclusion of its investigation, placed Jitendra Mamtora and Satyen Mamtora on red alert notice, which led to the arrest of Jitendra Mamtora in Italy. However, following the detention of Jitendra Mamtora, he was moved to India, and the Indian Interpol notified Interpol Nigeria of his arrival and requested they follow diplomatic channels for the extradition of the suspect. The federal government has appealed to members of the National Union of Electricity Employees not to down tools over the recent electricity tariff hike. This is coming after the union's insistence that they would withdraw their services should the government fail to cancel its decision on the removal of subsidy on the tariff payable by Band A customers. The national president of the union, Adebiyi Adeyeye, told corresponded that the union stood by its warning to the federal government. Recall that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission had on April 3 raised the electricity tariff for customers enjoying 20 hours of power supply daily. Customers in this category were said to be under the Band A classification, and the increase raised their tariff to 225 naira per kilowatt hour from 6 66 kilowatt hour. In its earlier reaction, the union had warned the government to reverse the tariff hike, saying, and I quote, "The government fails to address the crippling cost of electricity. NUEE will not hesitate to take strong action, including the swift withdrawal of our members, expected to be used by this cause to impose the tariff hike on the good people to protect the livelihood of our members." Speaking with correspondent, the supply of 20 hours of electricity is not feasible with the current infrastructure. I quote, "We just want the citizens to know that this thing is not possible. It is not feasible. You cannot give what you don't have. When we don't have the energy to give to the people and you ask our people to go out and collect such money, you know it is dangerous. Most times we don't disclose what to do to the public because our sector is very critical to the nation," he stated. While saying that the union has yet to give any ultimatum on strike, he addressed the NUEE is advising the government to do the needful, I quote, "before we will withdraw our services." He explained, "The reason why we are saying this is simple. You ask our members to go to the public to collect 20-hour tariff from people that are not even experiencing a 4-hour supply of electricity. There is no way there won't be crisis between our staff and those customers. We've recorded a lot of attacks on our members even with the present situation, and these guys have nothing to defend themselves. They have targets to meet where there is no supply. Our members are being threatened by the discos even when they know that what they are promising Nigerians is not feasible." He disclosed that the union must save its members from daily attacks, saying the hike would aggravate the attacks. I continue, quote, "We told our members that they cannot go out and collect that kind of tariff from unmetered customers. More than 70% of these Band A customers are not metered. The government is just promising what we don't have. We are the ones working there. We know we don't have the transformers to distribute such load. 20 hours of electricity is not possible except for those on eligible lines. We're not carried before the tariff hike," he says. Adeyeye, who said the union would not accept any threat from anyone, said, "On the issue of strike, it is not what we normally do directly. We said that we would withdraw our services if the government fails to do the needful." And we are still under that "if" in quotes. They still have time to do the needful. It's very difficult for us to collect such money, and we don't have the equipment to supply even 10 hours of electricity to the people. We stand on our point, and they can't bring people from anywhere to come and do this work. We Nigerians will do this work ourselves, and heaven will not fall. If they fail to do the needful, we will withdraw our members, and we will never accept any threat from anybody. Nigeria belongs to all of us," end of quote. Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, has urged the union not to withdraw its members. Adelabo, who spoke through his media aide, said the government was doing everything to improve supply in Nigeria and everybody will be happy at the end of the day. He said, and I quote, "We just want to appeal to the labor union to understand what led to this. This is not about strike. It is about understanding so that we can all work together. It is not about anybody's joy. It is not anybody's joy that there are blackouts all the time. These steps are being taken to solve the problems in the power sector. I beg the labor union to understand that this will galvanize the economy and create jobs." Moving on now, on Atlantic Television News, organized labor compromising the Nigerian Labor Congress and Trade Union Congress are demanding 615,000 Naira as the new minimum wage for workers in the country. Executive of organized labor, who did not want to be named, said the new wage of this amount was reached after consultations by the NLC and TUC, while a member of one of the subcommittees set up by the government to work on getting a new minimum wage for the country said the wage might still increase following the recent hike in electricity tariff. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu, through Vice President Kashim Shettima, had on January 30 set up a 37-member panel at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja, with its membership cutting across federal and state governments. The private sector and organized labor, the panel was tasked with recommending a new national minimum wage. At the inaugural meeting of the panel, Shettima urged members to speedily arrive at a resolution and submit their reports early, as the current 30,000 naira minimum wage expired at the end of March 2024. However, labor leaders said the NLC and TUC had pegged the new wage at 615,000 naira tentatively. You're still watching Government and Public Service reports. Moving on now, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission says it will not hesitate to take action against businesses engaging in price fixing. It highlighted the strain this act places on consumers' well-being and economic stability, and urged citizens to report such practices. The Commission disclosed this in a statement posted on its official X handle and acknowledged that the rising cost of essential goods impacts consumers' well-being and economic stability, adding that they are committed to safeguarding consumers' interests and ensuring fair market practices, necessitating their fair pricing. The Commission also said arbitrary price increases stemming from untoward practices like price gouging and conspiracy to manipulate supply violate existing laws, noting that the Commission will not hesitate to invoke Section 17 of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018 against any perpetrator of such acts. He said the section prohibits obnoxious trade practices and unscrupulous exploitation of consumers, and urged Nigerians to stay vigilant and report any unfair trade practices they encounter. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has said it is investigating several celebrities suspected of abusing the naira. This was revealed in a statement signed by EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale on Sunday. Oyewale claimed the anti-graft agency has invited several celebrities for questioning, and they have provided valuable information during the interrogation process. I quote, "At the moment, the Commission is investigating several celebrities involved in naira abuse. Many of them have made useful statements to the Commission, and many more have been invited by investigators working on the matter. The EFCC will not relent on its no sacred cow mode of operations, and the public should be wary of running afoul of laws against the crime." The statement read in part, "In the past week, popular cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, a.k.a. Bobrisky, was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment for abusing the naira. Justice Abimbola Awogboro had handed down the sentence without an option of fine, you would recall. Controversial cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, in the same light, also known as Bobrisky, who was handed a 6-month prison sentence over naira abuse, currently shares the same cell with male inmates at the Ikoyi Custodial Center, sources say. Justice Abimbola Awogboro of the Federal High Court in Lagos, while sentencing the convict on Friday, April the 12th, 2024, said the judgment would be a deterrent to others who are found abusing and mutilating the naira. Bobrisky, who was taken into the custodial center after in the facility, who spoke to correspondent on the condition of anonymity as he was not authorized to speak on the matter, said the cross-dresser was examined at the point of admission. According to the official, the outcome of the examination revealed that the convict had no realignment of gender and get his portion. The same goes with prep and light out. He observes all these without preference. He has been going about his business just like other inmates since he was brought in here." End of quote. While making a clarification on the claims that Bobrisky was being protected against abuse, the official noted that the facility found against any form of abuse by a fellow inmate. He is not getting any five-star treatment and is not being protected from anybody. He follows the same rules and regulations just like every other inmate. Single cells of isolation cells are to prevent outbreaks of communicable diseases. In a male prison, homosexuality is outlawed and it is a grievous offense. Sodomy or this act, homosexuality, is frowned upon here in the custodial center. So any inmate that tries to violate him will face the law, end of quote. When contacted, the spokesperson for the Lagos State Command of the NCS, Rotimi Oladokun, declined to speak on the matter, saying, "I have no comment," end of quote. Moving on now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it has identified some banks that are complicit in the elaborate corruption perpetrated at the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The Commission said it is investigating, I quote, a system and intricate web of fraudulent practices involving banks and managing directors of the indicted banks have made useful statements to investigators digging into the infractions. The statement issued by EFCC's head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, stated this on Sunday. The suspended minister of the ministry, Betta Edu, and her predecessor, Sadiya Farouk, are among the key serving and former officials that EFCC has interrogated with respect to the allegations. In January, President Bola Tinubu suspended Mrs. Edu from office after a leaked memo triggered controversies about suspicious financial transactions she authorized in her ministry. Correspondent reported the scandal including the approval of payment of hundreds of millions of naira into private accounts of civil servants. Ms. Farouk served in former President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. EFCC in January squeezed her over allegations of corruption in the handling of 37.1 billion naira social intervention funds during her tenure. EFCC also disclosed this on Sunday that its investigations have yielded the recovery of 32.7 billion naira and $445,000 so far. She said discreet investigations by the EFCC have opened other fraudulent dealings involving COVID-19 funds, the World Bank loan Abacha recovered loot released to the ministry by the federal government to execute its poverty alleviation mandate. Investigations have also linked several interdicted and suspended officials of the ministry to the alleged financial malfeasance, end of quote, the Commission statement said. And this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Report on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. I am Anwuli Akogo. Stay connected to ATN Socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter, Atlantic-TV-net. Please watch us live as well on our website, Atlantic-net-work.tv. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
Honorable